last week, Miley Cyrus dropped 2 new tracks back to back. Boy, like my attention was just very divided because in that same moment, the Beatles dropped another teaser track from the Anthology 4, and Aerosmith also dropped a track, all in that same moment. So I was kind of whiplash back and forth between all 4 of them, and I thought I was gonna make videos sooner than I did, but you can usually tell by how long it takes me to make a video reacting to a new track for how I feel about it, because if I feel very strongly positively about it, I have no problem making said video right the hell away immediately after first listen. If not, is usually when I wait a bit and see if familiarity bias kicks in and makes me start liking it more, or if it just stays if not full-on dislike. So you can probably take a good, educated guess where this is going. So the 2 Miley tracks were Secrets, which she did with Lindsey Buckingham and Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac. And I can tell what she's trying to do here. She's trying to evoke the vibe of Stevie Nicks without being a direct ripoff of Stevie Nicks. Which, I mean, I think, didn't she do something with her, like, several albums back? Like, refresh my memory. I'm pretty sure I remember that being a thing, like, around the time of Plastic Hearts. But, so this, if the media is to be believed, was, like, a project she did for her dad, because that's her dad's favorite band. Apparently, they must have buried the hatchet with whatever drama was going on behind the scenes with them, which is nice to see. The song itself, though, it's okay. It's not my favorite thing ever. It's better than the other track she dropped at the same time by a country mile, but it just, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm A, not a fan of Fleetwood Mac, B, it feels like an extension of the Something Beautiful project, which I've still yet to see the film that goes with it. Maybe that's the piece of the puzzle that's missing for me, is I need to actually see that to feel more positively towards that album, because I wanted to like it. I did, right off the heels of, like, arguably the best album of her career. She releases that, which felt very experimental and avant-garde, which, I mean, I will defend to the death her right to be artsy and creative and out there with that, especially when, like, right on the heels of an album like that, for all we know, could be the only opportunity she'll have in her career to do such an album. That said, as fans, we don't necessarily have to be super crazy into it. I mean, we can still support it without being, like, disingenuous about it. But this track, it was okay. It felt more aligned with, like, the singles from the album. It's not the best thing she's ever released, but it feels aligned with those. The other track, Lockdown, which is 13 and a half minutes long, by the way. It's a lot. It's definitely her attempt at going avant-garde, but it feels like a lazy attempt at it. So I was like, oh, okay. Both lyrically, stylistically, it still has that kind of 80s pop vibe going throughout it that it feels like the album does. And this is something that I feel like I'm noticing this year with releases from my faves, that it seems like they release an album that's kind of mid at best, they wait a few months, then they release a few more tracks that feel like they were probably written at the same time, they kind of have the same vibe, but like a lazier version, just so they can release a a deluxe version of the album and call it a day and see if they can get anybody to buy the deluxe version. But when the album is only mid at best to start with, who is the target demographic that it's catering to? That's my problem with that. Now, in the case of one that's really, really good from the word go, like her last album was, yes, absolutely, sign us all up for that. But on one that was just kind of to begin with, it's like, oh, you did a deluxe version now. I think on Spotify it's still all listed as one album. Gaga did this too, and she made it its own separate release with the 4 added tracks, but I digress. I'm not a huge fan of that approach. I feel like release an EP with the new tracks, call it a day, because by that you can just add it alongside it without having to re-buy the whole damn album over again. And it's not like they can't charge the same amount for it. Ringo Starr is a perfect example of somebody who will charge just as much for an EP as he will for a full album. Sometimes more, actually, in his case, for like 3 or 4 songs. That I don't stand by, but whatever. I feel like that would be a smarter approach, though, when they're not super, super strong albums to start with, you know? That is not to say that I'm calling Gaga's album mid. I'm not. I'm saying the add-on tracks were, but, yeah, these just felt very uninspired all around, both tracks. I'm just, like, underwhelmed. And I wanted to give it time. I gave it almost a week. I kept going back to them, revisiting them, seeing if maybe I'd like them more. Lockdown, absolutely not. I can't. I can't with that one. It's probably the length of it that just... No. If it were shorter, maybe I could get behind the whole artsy thing. Again, maybe if it had visuals with it, I would feel totally different. But just on its own, on its face, no. Whereas Secrets, that one does have a music video for it, and I feel like people are dragging her left and freaking right, which I don't think is deserved, because they're just criticizing her appearance at this point, which, okay, I'm not sure what the hell she had done. I don't know if she had the buccal fat removal. I don't know if she had further face work done. I don't know if she just lost a shit ton of weight. I don't know. All I know is that she seems to be morphing into Tish at this point. And it's like, oh, you are definitely not old enough to already be looking like that. Wow, okay. But I digress. I think people are definitely overblowing what she looks like into way worse than she actually does. I mean, this is not my favorite look of hers, I'll be honest, but I don't think she looks, like, horrible, like the way people are making it out to sound, but the video, it's kind of weird when it's pointed out that this was, like, a project for her dad, and it seems like she's turning into her mom. There's always been, like, a weird vibe with Billy Ray. I'm not making any claims, I'm just saying, definitely a weird vibe, and this is not helping. So I'm just like, that was about the summation of my watching that video, was just sitting here going, So that was a thing that I just watched. I'm not quite sure what the fuck I just watched. It's Miley draped in... I'm not sure what the hell it is. It just, like... Is it, like, white tulle? It's some kind of white sheer fabric that seems like she's trying to be arty, like, peering through the sheer fabric and stuff. It's... Again, I can tell she's trying to be avant-garde. I respect that. I do. But it's just... if the song itself had stood on firmer ground, I feel like you could get away with that a lot easier, but this, I'm just like... Yeah. So that's that, I guess. It's only 2 tracks, thank God, but I am thoroughly underwhelmed. I have to be completely honest on that one. So again, if one of them stands a better chance to grow on me with time, it's definitely Secrets, but I'm still like, I don't really see it happening. I think about how I feel right now is probably about where it's gonna peak for me, and it's still just like, it's okay. I might not hit skip on it if it comes on shuffle. That's about the extent of how much I like it. So, anyway. That is it for this one. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, until next time, see ya.